Namaskar, Jai Shri Krishna. Refining text 8:12 of chapter 13, Nature, the Enjoyer and Consciousness of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, text 8:12. Amanitva, Madam, Bhitvam, Himsa, Shanti Rarjavam, Acharyopasanam, Shaucham, Sthairya Vinigrahah, Indriyartheshu, Vairagya Mana, Ahankara Evacha, Janma Mrityu, Jara Vyadhi, दुःख दोषानुदर्शनम असक्तिरन भिष्वंग पुत्रदार गृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्त त्वमिष्टा निष्ठो पपततिषु मयि चानन्य योगेन भक्तिरव्य भिचारिणी विविक्त देशसेवी त्वमर तिरजन समसदी अध्यात्म ज्ञान नित्यत्वम तत्व ज्ञानार्थ दर्शनम एतज ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम ज्ञानम यदतो अन्यथा. Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the objects of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of birth, death, old age and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home and the rest, even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All these I declare to be knowledge, and besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance. The process of knowledge is sometimes misunderstood by less intelligent men as being the interaction of the field of activity, but actually this is the real process of knowledge. If one accepts this process, then the possibility of approaching the absolute truth exists. This is not the interaction of the 24 elements as described before. This is actually the means to get out of the entanglement of those elements. The embodied soul is entrapped by the body, which is a casing made of the 24 elements, and the process of knowledge as described here is the means to get out of it. Of all the descriptions of the process of knowledge, the most important point is described in the first line of the 11th verse. Mai chananya yogena bhaktiravya vicharini. The process of knowledge terminates in unalloyed devotional service to the Lord. So if one approaches the Lord, or if he is not able to approach the transcendental service of the Lord, then the other 19 items are of no particular value. But if one takes to devotional service in full Krishna's consciousness, the other 19 items automatically develop within him. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 5.18.12, it is said, Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavate akinchana sarvair gunais tatra samasate surah. All the good qualities of knowledge develop in one who has attained the stage of devotional service. The principle of accepting a spiritual master as mentioned in the 8th verse is essential. Even one who takes to devotional service, it is most important. Transcendental life begins when one accepts a bona fide spiritual master. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Shri Krishna clearly states here that this process of knowledge is the actual path. Anything speculated beyond this is nonsense. As for the knowledge outlined here, the items may be analyzed as follows. Humility means that one should not be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others. The material conception of life makes us very eager to receive honor from others. But from the point of view of a man in perfect knowledge, who knows that he is not this body, anything honor or dishonor pertaining to this body is useless. As for actual advancement in spiritual science, one should have a test to see how far he is progressing. He can judge by these items. Non-violence is generally taken to to mean not killing or destroying the body, but actually non-violence means not to put others into distress. One should try his best to distribute real knowledge to the people so that one may become enlightened and leave this material entanglement. That is non-violence. Tolerance means one should be practiced to bear insult and dishonor from others if one is engaged in the cultivation of spiritual knowledge. Then there will be so many insults and much dishonor from others. This is expected because material nature is so constituted. Even a boy like Prahlad, who only 5 years old, was engaged in the cultivation of spiritual knowledge, was endangered when his father became antagonistic to his devotion. His father tried to kill him in so many ways, but Prahlad tolerated him. Simplicity means that without diplomacy, one should be so straightforward that he can disclose the real truth even to an enemy. Cleanliness is essential for making our advancement in spiritual life. There are two kinds of cleanliness, external and internal. External cleanliness means taking a bath, but for internal cleanliness, one has to think of Krishna always and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This process cleans the accumulated dust of past karma from the mind. Steadiness means that one should be very determined to make progress in spiritual life. Without such determination, one cannot make tangible progress. And self-control means that one should not accept anything which is detrimental to the path of spiritual progress. One should become accustomed to this and reject anything which is against the path of spiritual progress. This is real renunciation. The senses should be gratified only to keep the body fit so that one can discharge his duty in advancing in spiritual life. The most important and uncontrollable sense is the tongue. If one can control the tongue, then there is every possibility of controlling the other senses. False ego means accepting this body as oneself. One who understands that he is not his body and his spirit soul, he comes to his real ego. Ego is there. False ego is condemned, but not real ego. In the Vedic literature, Bruhad Aranyaka Upanishad 1.4.10, it is said, Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahma, I am spirit. Unless we have a pessimistic view of this material life, considering the distresses of birth, death, old age and disease, there is no impetus for our making advancement in spiritual life. In all cases, one should be detached from the happiness and distress of family life, because in this world, one can never be fully happy or fully miserable. Happiness and distress are concomitant factors of material life. One should learn to tolerate as advised in Bhagavad Gita. One can never restrict the coming and going of happiness and distress. So one should be detached from the materialistic way of life and be automatically equipoised in both cases. One may test himself by seeing how far he is inclined to live in a solitary place without unwanted association. According to Bhagavad Gita, one should make research by philosophical discretion into the nature of the soul. One should make research to understand the self. That is recommended here. As far as self-realization is concerned, it is clearly stated here that Bhakti Yoga is especially practical. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.11, this is explained. Vadanti tata tattva vidas tattvam yaja jnanam advayam. Those who are actually knowers of the absolute truth know that the self is realized in three different phases as Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagwan. Beginning from practicing humility up to the point of realization of the supreme truth, the absolute personality of Godhead. This process is just like a staircase, beginning from the ground floor and going up to the top floor. The beginning of knowledge, therefore, is amanitva, humility. One should be humble and know that he is subordinate to the Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna. Thank you.